Okay, welcome to the latest Judgement live stream. My name's Andy, for those who don't know me, Guns, I'm the game's creator. Today we're going to go through very exciting things. We're releasing a brand new hero, Vexus, who is the second Torin Avatar, which is very exciting. Welcome to the latest live stream. Apologies about that. Assuming you can see me now. So here we go, and we're live. All right, great. Yes, sorry, distraction. Vexus, we've actually got an update for Vujasha, which is pretty cool. We've had a bit of feedback, and I'll get to that one in a minute. We've also got a couple of adjustments. It's just really clarifications for two of the tribes, demons and orcs, and we'll get to that as well. So Vexus is going to be live for purchasing, I think on the 9th, so it's been a couple of days, and all the assets after this stream, Hall of Eternal Champions, the Vasha module and the TTS module will be updated with all the latest rules as well. So let's get stuck into it. The first one we're doing is, let's go. All right, so the first thing is the Axes of Grimos. This is just an orc. This is the orc sacred artifact. They come in the latest tribes. The intention was that the axes would replace a weapon completely on a hero's card. So we've just reworded it to do that. So essentially, now what you do is, so the weapon hasn't changed. It's a reach 1, 2, 3, 4, and gives dual wield. The only thing is that it now replaces all instances of the weapon you choose on the card. So whatever rules a hero has got for the weapon that you're replacing, the Axes of Grimos can do it. So in the orcs, it makes sense this way. There's a couple of things where Cruel can get it now with his when he's carrying a soul and he gets an extra damage, which makes him a really good recipient for the axes. It does mean Shan can choose to use the hammer or the shield replace. It's a little bit awkward when she replaces the shield with it, but she basically gets all the shield benefits with the axes if you wanted to do that. So it does make it a bit better because the shield I think is 1, 2, 4, and this is 2, 3, 4. So it also makes it a bit better for her shield slam. But anyway, yes, that's it. So nothing else has changed with the axes, but we have made it so it replaces all instances of the card, all instances of the weapon you choose on the card. All right, so the next thing I want to look at is demons. Now with demons, it's a little bit awkward when we introduced the concept that coalesce icons didn't expire, and they did expire and didn't expire. It was a little bit, and we kind of contradicted the rules too much, and it made it too confusing. So now we've cleaned it up completely. So essentially, the encroaching darkness it says nothing about icons expire as normal, right? So if a demon dies and it respawns, when it activates, its icon will disappear. So they do expire just like the core rules. Nothing's changed, right? The only thing that has changed with Abyssal Split and Abyssal Portal, those ones do not expire because they're not being spawned by the death of a demon. So that's essentially it. And also with Abyssal ones, his ones expire as they always had. So everything was exactly as it was with demons. All we've added is with Abyssal Split and Abyssal Portal, which is the two abilities demons get, those ones don't expire. So other than that, everything works exactly the same. We haven't changed anything else. So it's kind of, they will expire more than they originally did from the first rules. It's only been a week or so, but now it's a bit more intuitive, a bit clearer to understand, and a bit easier to play. So that is the demons. All right, so the next thing is we're going to go to the monster cards, and that is Vujasha. So we've tried, across version 1 and version 2, we've had 3 attempts at trying to get the soul spawning mechanic from Vujasha to work. It's always been okay, but it can have a very big influence on the game. It can introduce opportunities to manipulate the board state a little bit too much, and it can be too much of an advantage or disadvantage if she spawned on your side, depending on how we played it. So we've basically removed that rule completely. When Vujasha dies, a soul no longer spawns. So everything else about her kit is the same. So she still activates whenever a soul is bound to a hero. She still has all those negatives against not using no bonuses against her. But essentially, she no longer spawns a soul when she dies. What we've replaced that with is, in this one, the next card, where are we? This one, we've actually given her a glyph of harvesting. This is similar to the way the glyph of Ember works for Inferno. Essentially, the hero that collects Vujasha's bounty gains a glyph of harvesting. This provides a +1 bonus to a soul harvest attempt made by a friendly hero attempting a harvest on a soul that's within 5 hexes of the bearer of the glyph. So once you collect the glyph, it stays on you until you use it. If you are harvesting a soul within 5 of that hero, you get +1 to that roll. The bonus is cumulative with other glyphs and bonuses, so you can accumulate more than one glyph if you have managed to kill 2 Vujashas in the course of the game. You must state they're using the glyph before they roll the dice for the soul harvest. Once used, remove the glyph of harvesting from play. So this could be really cool. Like if you happen to get a soul gazer that gets it, and the soul gazer's adjacent to a soul, they can basically be 4 to pick it up. But anyone who's got it, anyone who gets a friend that tries to get a soul within 5, you can choose to use it. So we feel this is a really good mechanic. It stays into the flavor of the soul game that Vujasha gives, but it's not quite as impactful, and it gives you a bit more intrigue around using the glyph. And of course, if you collect multiple of them, it's really good. So it really plays in the soul game, which is something that we are always keen for. And really, it's nice. It's a nice addition considering we've just introduced the rule where soul gazers get an extra +1 when they're adjacent to a soul, instead of 2 away. So that's the basic changes. Just to access with Grimos, we've got a Vujasha change, and we've got the demon change to make it easier to play. Just going to check the chat to see if there's any questions I need to answer. Aaron's died and gone to heaven. That's good. A Spaceballs moment. Thanks, all. Combo strike, dual wield. Okay, so I think they were okay. Any questions then? Oh no, you can't use a combo strike. It's not a melee weapon, so sorry, you can't replace the combo strike. In case some people ask about that. Fantastic change of Vujasha. Thank you. Good. Does the glyph expire? No, only when you use it. And that's it. Okay, cool. All right, that's good. Now, the exciting part. We're going to move on to Urvexis. So Urvexis, we have leaked the picture and the model. So I'm going to show the model now. I haven't glued it on, but I want to give you an idea of the size. So this is a Vexus. It's really, that's the model. It comes with a like a stone wall on her scenic base, and there's a Vexus, and there's really good positions for a Vexus for her legs to slots into it. I haven't glued this on because I want to actually I want to paint it. I want to paint them separately. But to give an idea of her size, here is an existing skull and a Vexus. So she's about the size of a Minotaur or skull, and in the background of the Judgement, the bugs do fight Minotaurs. So let me just bring up her card now. That should be bringing it up. Is it there? Yep, there it is. There's a Vexus card. All right, she's a Chimera Assassin. So another Chimera. So we've got a few, I think we've got 3 of them now, which is pretty cool. Her stats: move 3, agi 5, mel 7, no res, soul harvest of 1. She's 15, 16, 17 health. She's an assassin, so she's probably this normal assassin stat line. She's got a mandible weapon, which is a melee, reach 1, 2, 3, 4. Quite standard. Now, a few big things about her. She's got dash, honor, because she is the Torin Avatar. She's got Pathfinder built in, and she's psionic. She's the second psionic character we've got, along with, oh my goodness. It'll come back to me. All right. So this is the second psionic character. So this is really exciting. So essentially, we've got another hero that uses the soul harvest of the person they're fighting instead of their agi. So as we know, this opens up a whole different ball game of what Urvexis plays really well into and what she does not. Maltique is the name. Wow, it's early, having a shocker. So Maltique. So similar to Maltique, she works the same way. Interestingly, Vexus and Maltique are direct counters for each other because they've got very low soul harvest, which is quite cool. Now, bite. Common innate abilities. After resolving a mandible attack that scored a critical hit, Vexus may immediately make a bite attack for 0 AP. Bite is a reach 1 mel weapon and damage grid 1, 2, 3. Bite attack deals true damage. So it's similar to Brock in that when she gets a crit, so you really want to get crits, she follows up with a bite attack, The bite attack is actually true damage, 1, 2, 3, which is really cool. So this is how she's getting her burst damage going. She's got cerebral pressure, which is the same as Multique. So she gets for sonic counters, gets +1 damage for every damage. Now remember that sonic counters only come from the mandible attack, so you can't get double manic. If she does a mandible crit and then gets a bite, the bite won't generate a cerebral pressure, so it won't go ballistic. It's just very similar damage profile to Multique. But she's got a lacerate maneuver. Enemy damaged by a bite attack suffers fear. If a J was rolled and the enemy was damaged, they suffer mortal wounds. So she actually can cause fear and mortal wounds out of the box. So this is the same as the combat maneuver you get out of Xanthus's weapon, but she's got it built in. So this is where she can be really, like, she can be causing fear, mortal wounds, stops healing. She's got a whole bunch of things going on with her standard kit. There's more on the other page, but super exciting. She's a really good assassin, and I'll get to that in a minute, how she gets to where she needs to get. She's got great movability on the board, but this is her basic, just showing her weapons, her attack, sonic, and she's got lacerate as well. Let me just check to see if there's any ridiculous Multique. The Chimera is a Chimera, yes, that's the third one. All right, cool. So it looks like it's pretty calm. All right, that's good. All right, now let's go to the next card. Now, this is where it gets pretty exciting. She's got an ability called From Above, which is 2 AP. So if a Vexus is within a forest or smoke hex, she can be placed adjacent to a target enemy model within her current move distance. Now, let's stop there for a minute. So if her move is 3, she can use dash for this, so she can make it 4. So if she's in a forest or a smoke and there is an enemy within 4, she can be placed adjacent to it. Now that means she can actually be placed on the other side of the model if she needs to. So it's a place. She can get herself out of trouble if she's surrounded by enemies, and she actually can be placed up to basically 6 away, because you go to the other side of the model. Now, the Vexus counts as charging that model and has the mounted innate ability for the duration of the attack. So essentially she's leaping out of a forest or smoke hex and coming down adjacent to a hero, counts as charging them, and counts as being mounted. That means she gets +1 to her mel when she does that, and she gets +1 damage on that initial attack. So this is a huge ability that is terrain dependent, but there's a lot of synergies going on with a lot of the maps. Also, obviously, someone like a Gendris, she works really well there. Dash can be used to increase the move stat for this purpose if its ability as if it's used for an advance action. So as I said, she can use her dash if she hasn't used it to go 4. If she's got the Boots of Elvenkind, she can do this from 5 away. It's a place, so she completely ignores everyone in between. You just pick her up, place her adjacent to the target she wants to get to. She can place in any hex adjacent to it, which is advantageous to her, and she counts as charging them and counts as mounted. 2 AP, because it's a charge essentially. And then finally, her Fate ability at level 1 is Monster Burrows. Place your Vexus in an unoccupied monster pit hex within 4 hexes. So this lets her again place herself out of danger or into a good position where there's a unoccupied monster pit. So there's a lot of monster pits and a lot of maps in the current map rotation. This makes her super versatile, and it's really exciting. In the fluff of the game, the lore, these were the Chitauri. Now, if people remember V1 lore, we're still waiting for this to come out, but there's a V1 lore where Cradle, and there was a Minotaur story where the Minotaurs with Don Rhaegar, led by Don Rhaegar, were fighting the Chitauri, and they came from below the ground. That's essentially what that is emulating. For those who don't know, Cradle was killed in that battle and became an undead Minotaur. So that's where this is, and she is actually Don Rhaegar's daughter. All right, cool. So that's her level 1 kit. Super versatile, is great with terrain, very different to a lot of the things we've done. Is an assassin that's hard to get hold of. Yeah, super exciting. She's been amazing to play. Now, obviously, being a psionic character, it's like Multique. It works really well into some heroes. She's actually an assassin, so she's very good at killing other assassins or hunting herself down if she's in a mirror match. She's not so great into soul gazers or a lot of high soul harvesting heroes, because that really restricts her ability to get her ability to get the crits. She's like the other crit people, like Azonia's or Brock. She really relies on, or your Goth. She really relies on getting crits. So she's a great candidate for the Vorpal Blade, but you have to just weigh that up in your warbands. All right, so her health gain is just 1/1 per level gained. So essentially, she's going to be 16 and 17 for level 2 and 3. Right, level 2, she has got physical augmentation. So she could get level 2 straight away, make her Mel 8. You could pick up the Vorpal Blade and make her Mel 9. When she's using from above, she essentially, with the mounted rule, is a Mel 10. So she hits very hard. She does not have a burst damage like a Zonya or a Ruki or anything like that. She relies on crits to do the mandible, crits do the mandible, and obviously gets cerebral pressure as well. If she starts in combat with someone, she can get 3 cerebral pressures. She struggles to get it as much as Maltique, because she obviously, if she charges, the most she can get is 2 cerebral pressure. So it'll add 3 total. Let me think this. No, it'll add charge, add pressure. It adds 1 to her if she's charged in, and adds 3 if she starts in combat. If she gets the crits. Now, level 3, Warp Magic. 1 Fate. Target enemy model within 2 hexes equipped with 1 or more magical artifacts. A Vexus counts as being equipped with those magical artifacts as activation, and the target model does not. Warp Magic does not occupy offensive or defensive artifact slots, so a Vexus can have existing magical artifact equipped, including duplicates, and still gain the benefits of Warp Magic. Warp Magic has no effect on sacred artifacts. So you're charging to someone who has the boots of agility. Now, the thing about this is you can't interrupt your charge, right? So it's a little bit, you can't charge in before you do your damage, take off their boots of agility or take off their glyph of warding, and you have it on you. You so you either have to wait for the charge to happen and do it in the second round, your second attack, or if you start in combat, you can do it that way. So it's 1F. Or if you're 2 hexes away and you can take it off a model, you don't have to charge the model you're taking it off. So you could be 2 hexes away from an enemy that has the Vorpal Blade. You could steal it for this charge and charge someone else with that Vorpal Blade, for example. And if you've got your own Vorpal Blade, it doubles up. So it's very situational. It's not always great against the person you're charging unless you start 2 hexes away from them, because your whole charge is not going to have it. But it can be very good in certain situations, and we found it to be a really good situational ability. Now, her avatar bonus, Vexus's bite attack damage profile is permanently changed to 1/2/4 instead of 1/2/3. So this means it adds an extra possible 1 if she crits with her bite attack. Now remember, she gets her bite attack only if she crits with her mandible attack. So once again, this potentially could add 3 more. If you start in combat, crit 3 times with mandible and crit 3 times with what magic? With the bite. Now all this looks like if the person's knocked down, the Vexus is going to go crazy, and that is how it is. But it's very similar to other assassins. When someone's knocked down, they're normally in a lot of hurt if they are. Things that do counter a Vexus are obviously, the item in the game now that stops crits, which is on the human item, is very strong against her. Once again, another hero that item is very strong. Like I said, high soul harvesting is very good against her. She's actually not great into res either. So you do need to, she doesn't have that burst true damage or anything like that. She's got the bite, but it can affect her ability to get a lot of damage in. So that's her Vexus. I'm just going to see whether there's any discussion or things for me to answer. It's probably too long. She's Jason Bourne. I'm not how far to go up. Yes, so you could parting blow. So that's an interesting one. A parting blow, you can apply a cerebral pressure from parting blow. So it is possible that you could do that, and then Maltique could be, if she's in the list as well, could help. Cavado is very good with her. You can't stack. Remember, cerebral pressure tokens go at the end of a model's activation. So if you have both Maltique and a Vexus, you can't use a Vexus first, put all those tokens on, and then come in with Maltique. They expire. No, you can parting blow a cerebral pressure. Same as a Fury token. So from above, charging bonuses for both the mandible and the follow-up bite attack. Let me just have a look at this. No, it's just that, that's interesting actually. So duration of that attack. The intention is, it's just the initial attack. So her mandible attack gets the mounted bonus, not the follow-up bite attack. Yeah, similar to Brock. Yeah. So Aaron, yeah, we'll have to just look at that in FAQ for that maybe. But they are separate attacks. I think it's pretty intuitive, but anyway, that's the answer. The intention is just the mandible attack. Knockdown doesn't do anything Sonics. I just thought about this. So things like poison that reduce soul harvesting. Correct. Okay, let me tackle that back. Knockdown doesn't help. Geez, I'm doing well today. Anyway, there you go. So I think that's the Urvexis reveal. As I said, she'll be available on the Vassal module and TTS soon after this, and she'll be up on the Hall of the Champions later today. She'll be available for purchase, I think, on the 9th in North America. So that's going to be in a couple of days. Yeah, and we now have 2 Torin Avatars. She's a Chimera, so she's not involved in any of the tribes, but she plays into some of the tribes really well. Can't wait to hear how she goes and see her. She's available for the next league, which kicks off soon. So you Torin players out there can bring her out, and looking forward to seeing all the synergies and things that people come up with. So thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be back next week again, same time. We've got a new supplement that's coming out. It's mainly for multiplayer, so it's nothing to do with one-on-one, but we have a very good brand new set of rules for FFA, free-for-all multiplayer games. So I'll be revealing that next week, along with anything else that happens between now and then. So thanks very much for joining. Have a good day, and I'll speak to you soon. See you online. Cheers.